today we are going to dive into a new topic. I feel like we became masters at inferences last week. And so this week we're going to start on a new topic. Now, I think that maybe we still need a little bit of extra help with rap, okay? But we're going to work on that all year long. So we're kind of ready to move on to a new topic. So this week we are going to focus on text features. Everybody say that for me, text features. Text features. Okay, so before we get started, I want you to think about these questions. So what we're going to do in just a second is you're going to turn and you're going to talk to your partner about what you know about these questions. What is nonfiction and what are text features? My virtual kiddos at home, pause this video and answer those questions on a piece of paper. Okay, we're going to answer these questions in just a second, but before we do, I want to talk about why these questions are important. These questions are part of our goal. This is what we are working toward this week. And so every step of the way, we are going to ask ourselves, are we meeting this goal? Are we one step closer to being able to say this? So remember, it's been a while. I like to chant. So I'm going to say this to you real quick, and then I'm going to chant it, and you're going to repeat after me. So this is our goal. It says, I will be able to identify nonfiction text features. Ooh, weren't all of those words just in those questions I asked you? Okay, that's what our goal is, focusing on nonfiction text features, okay? So I will be able to identify nonfiction text features and use them to better understand my reading. All right, let's chant. Be with me. Come on, wake up. I know it's early. We got to get going. I will be able to. Oh, no. That's lame. I want Miss Sheffer next door to hear us chant. Are we ready? I will be able to. Identify nonfiction text features. We're going to work on it. Okay, and use them to better understand my reading. Okay, we're gonna get better at our chanting. All right, so that's what we're focusing on. So let's answer those questions that I just asked you. What is nonfiction? Nonfiction is an informational text. It is anything that gives facts. It is real and it is true. I need y'all to turn around and look at me, please. It is anything that is real and that is true. So let me give you an example. When I have a Scholastics magazine, is the stuff in here real or is it a make-believe story? It's real. So we call this nonfiction. This is an informational text. Now, can I borrow this real quick? What about Dogman? Is this make-believe or is it true? We call this fiction. So nonfiction is anything that is true. It is giving us real, live facts. So anytime that you read a Scholastics magazine, you are reading nonfiction, okay? All right, so then it asks us, what are text features? These are little extra things sprinkled into the text that the author uses to give us extra information, okay? So let's go back and think about a Scholastics magazine. When I open the article, I don't just have words on a page like I do in, let's say, this story here, okay? In this story here, all I have are what? Words on a page. What do you see? What do you see in this here? Pictures. What else do you see? Maps. What else do you see? Okay. What do you call this big thing right here in those big letters? A title. I see a title. I see pictures. I see a map. What do you think we would call this part? Show it to my virtual kiddos. What would we call this part down here? This pink box down here. Is that part of the words or is that giving us extra information? Okay, guys, so all of these things that you're seeing on the page, anything that is not just the words, those are what we call text features, okay? And they are in the text to give us a better understanding of what is written on the page. Because sometimes nonfiction is tricky. Sometimes nonfiction is hard to understand. And so the author knows that, hey. Okay, kiddo, so nonfiction text features are anything that is not the words. Anything that the author puts into the text to help us understand it better. So things like pictures, things like maps, things like titles and headings and fact boxes. All of those things give me extra information. So for example, I want you to look at the title that I'm about to walk around and show you. It's in the big blue letters. Everyone look at this title. I'm walking around to show it to you. I want you to think, just by looking at this title, what could this article be about? Just by looking at the title, what do you think this article could be about? Jason, Courtney, look at this. Look at the blue title my finger is by. Just by looking at this title, what do you think this article could be about? Anyone have a guess?
Penguins.
Penguins! Look at our title. Our title says penguins at risk. So obviously, what's going to be in my article? Penguins. What about penguins? They're at risk. Do we know for what yet? No, but we do know before I even get started. This text feature has helped me figure out what this text is going to be about. It's helped me figure that out because the author puts that extra little bit in there. Okay? Good job, kiddos. All right, so what we are going to do is I'm going to give you a little flip book, and it's going to have all the text features that we're going to talk about in it. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill it out, and then we're going to go through each text feature. My virtual kiddos, these posters are going to be on your Google Classroom to look at. All right, guys, so let's roll through our different text features. So the first kind I want to talk to you about is the title. Okay, someone raise a hand and tell me, what do we know about a title? What is a title?
A title is where you can make a guess about what the book is going to be about.
Yeah, so it's the name of a book or the name of an article. So on your little anchor chart, that very first box where it says text feature, I want you to write the word title. It is up here in green if you need to see how to spell it. For that very first box, we need to write the word title. We need to write the word title. In this very first box, let's write the word title. Good. All right, so a title identifies the topic of the text, tells what the text will be about. So here's an example. JC, baby, you cannot get up out of your seat. Sit down. Here's an example of a title, Bones and More Bones. That is what the title of this article is going to be about. And it helps me figure out, okay, I know before I even start reading that this article is going to probably be about our skeleton, okay, going to be about our bones. The next text feature we're going to talk about is called a title page. Say that back to me. What is this?
Title page.
Okay, so think about when you open a book. I know that the front cover of this book, the title of this book is Molly's Story. But if I open up to the very first page, there's another little page in there that has the title on it, and we call it the title page. This has Molly's Story written on it for us. So in that second box, what are we going to write? In that second box, what are we going to write? Title page. Let's write that in the second box. Title page. Okay, a title page tells a book's title, the author, the illustrator, and the publisher. Okay, so in that second box, we should have title page.
So, first we write title on the first, and then title page on the second.
Yes, ma'am. All right, this second page of text features we're going to talk about, the first one is our table of contents. Now, who thinks that they've ever seen a table of contents before? Ooh, tell me where you think you've seen it before.
I've seen them in chapter books.
In chapter books, when it tells me the chapter title and what page it's going to be on. Have we ever had a science textbook in front of us? Has it told us? Has it told us the different units and sections? Okay? A table of contents is almost like a map for your whole book. Okay? It tells me where to go when I want to read something. If I know that I remembered I was reading and I left off in chapter 3, I can flip to the table of contents and find the exact page for chapter 3. Okay? So in our third box, what are we going to write? Table of contents. Very good. Table of contents.
table of contents.
The next one we're going to talk about is index. Everyone say that back to me. What is this?
Index.
Index. Okay? An index is usually at the back of a book. So think about a science textbook. If I know that I want to look up planets, but that science textbook, it is huge, right? I can go to the very back of the book, go to P for planets, and find planets under the P, and it will tell me all the pages in that science book that I can learn about planets, instead of having to flip through every single page to find planets. Okay, so what are we going to write in that fourth box? What is this? Index. Y'all are rock stars. Index should be in that fourth box. Fourth box should have index. Index. Okay. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome. Two more on this first page that we're going to go over. All right, on the next one, we have the glossary and heading. Let's talk about the first one. Glossary. Say this to me. This is?
Glossary.
Okay. This tells me the meaning of words in a book. So, in my Scholastics magazine, I know that sometimes I'll come across words that are in big, black, bold letters. So, right here, this word is extinct. And it's in a big, black, bold font. If I look somewhere on this page, there is going to be a glossary that tells me the meaning of those big, black font words. And if you look at the bottom of your article, it says words to know. And there it is, extinct, and it tells me the meaning. Okay? So anytime you see a big font word, now this only works in nonfiction, guys. Remember, we're only talking about nonfiction here. In nonfiction, if I come across a big, black, bold word, or sometimes it's a red word, sometimes it's a green word, it depends on the book, okay? I can look up this word in the book somewhere. It's going to tell me the meaning of it, okay? So in that fifth box, we should have which word? Glossary. In that fifth box, we should have the word glossary.
Wait, that's a long word.
Glossary.
Got it.
In the last box on the first page, we are going to have the word heading. Say this word to me. It is?
Heading.
Heading. Write that in the last box. Okay, I love headings. Headings are something that we are going to spend a lot of time talking about. Because in a nonfiction article, we talked about the title, right? Penguins at risk. But if you'll notice, throughout the rest of the article, there are little titles in green. Little titles above some of the paragraphs in green. Okay? Okay? These are what we call headings. These, just like titles, give us a hint at what that little bitty part of the article is going to be about. See this place? Hunter? Sam? Right here. Okay.
So the whole article is going to be about penguins at risk, but some of the articles are going to talk about different things.
So, that's a really good point. So the entire article is going to be about penguins at risk. But I know this section is going to be about penguin problems. So I know the next couple of paragraphs are going to be all about what? The problems that penguins have. But then right here it says caring for chicks. What are the next couple paragraphs probably going to be about? What kind of chicks? Penguin chicks. So do you see how the headings give us a clear idea of what little bitty parts of the text are going to be about? Okay? All right, so the last thing on this page, what should you have in that bottom box? Heading. Very good. Heading. All right, flip to your second page. Now remember, my virtual kiddos, all of these will be on your Google Classroom to find later. We're just reviewing them right now, okay? All right, these are two really easy ones. Photograph and illustration. Does somebody already know the difference between a photograph and an illustration? Raising a hand. Does anyone know the difference between a photograph and an illustration?
Photograph is when you take a picture and illustration is when you draw it.
That is a great description. A photograph is a picture. It is a real live picture. An illustration is a drawing. Okay?
A real life drawing.
Okay? All right, in the first box, what word should we have written?
Photograph.
Photograph. In the second box, what should we have written?
Illustration.
Illustration. Guys, having these in our articles can be really helpful sometimes because, like right here in this article, these are pictures of baby penguins being taken care of. And it helps me understand what baby penguins look like and how to care for them. Okay?
Remember they're babies? They don't have Can we write illustration in the next box?
Yes, baby, the second box. That's really a cool thing to know, Hunter. Right. Photograph in the first box, illustration in the second box. Y'all are rock stars. We are almost done. Stay with me. We are almost done. Stay with me. In the next two boxes, we have two more things that are also going to be something we talk about a lot. The next one is called a caption. Y'all say this word to me. What is it?
Caption.
Ooh, let's try it again. What is this word?
Caption.
Very good, caption. A caption goes to the side, to the bottom, on the top of a photograph, and it tells me what the photograph is about. So right here at the top, I have a caption that tells me what this picture is about. I'm just going to read it to you guys. It's right here at the top of the photograph, and it says, a penguin chick gets a checkup at a rescue center in South Africa. So do I know now what's going on in this picture? What's going on in this picture? What's the baby chick getting?
A checkup.
A checkup. Do you remember where they were? South Africa. Very good. See, the caption gives me information about the illustration or photograph. Yes, ma'am. I'll help you in just a second, okay? All right. In the fourth box, we are going to write label. Say that word back to me. What is it?
Labels.
Okay. This is something you're going to see in Miss Trista's class all the time. There are lots of labels in science, okay? A label is where it points at something and tells you what it is. So this is a picture of lungs, and it's pointing at it, and it's telling me the different parts of our lung, okay? So we call these three little things in red labels, okay? Very good. Thumbs up when you're ready to move on. Good, good, good. All right. You will also see these a lot in Miss Trista's class, especially in math. The first one we're going to talk about is a graph. Say that to me.
Graph.
What's a graph? What's a graph? Someone I haven't heard from yet. Who thinks they can, look at it right here. What do we think the graph is?
Chart.
It's like a chart, okay? It gives me information in the form of like of numbers in a really easy to read way, okay? Numbers in a really easy to read way. So in that fifth box, what are we gonna write? Graph. Table is very much the same thing. Instead of putting the numbers in something like a circle or in bars, I'm just gonna lay it out like this in a really, really easy to read table. Where right here it says number of beats. All of these numbers are numbers of beats. How much does your heart beat? These are all the numbers of beats. And it says amount of time. So I know my heart beats 90 times in 1 minute. My heart beats 129,000 beats in a day. 3.8 million beats in a month. And 47.3 million beats in a year. So do you see how that table is organized? Okay, very good. So what should be in that last box? Table. When you've got that in, flip to our very last page of text features. We will see lots of maps in social studies. What are maps? What are maps? Tell me what a map is. Yeah, it shows me the world or where things are. Listen, in the article we've been talking about, there is a map. And it tells me all the different places that penguins live. Okay? So there can be lots of different maps about lots of different things. It shows me a location. A location. Okay, this is a hard word to say. This word is diagram. Say that to me.
Diagram.
It's very similar to a label. This is an eyeball. We all can see that's an eyeball, right?
Yes.
This is a diagram of an eyeball. And what it does is it tells me each different part of my eyeball. Okay? Each different part of my eyeball. So in that second box, what should I have written? Diagram. So in the first box, I have what? Map. In the second box, I have diagram. Very good. Very good.
I learned that when you blink, your eyelids clean out your eyes.
They do. It keeps it moist and keeps it clean. Keeps it clean.
When you go to sleep, your eyes will.
Okay. All right, we're almost done, kiddo. Stay with me. All right. You will see these types of things in both my class and Miss Trista's class. This word right here is bold print. Say that to me.
Bold print.
What do you think bold print is? What do you think bold print is? Yes, look at these words right here. We talked about those, right? I can find the meaning of these words in the glossary. So a bold print word is an important word, a word that I really need to pay attention to, a word that I may need to know the meaning of, okay? This word right here is italics. Say that word to me. Try it again, italics. Okay, they are the same size, but all of their font kind of leans. All of the font leans, okay? And what they do is they just show me that the word is important, okay? So in your third box, you should have bold print. In your fourth box, you should have italics. Thumbs up when you're ready to do the last two. Y'all have been rock stars, thank you. All right, our last two, and we will also talk a lot about these, especially the last one. These are called bullet points. Say that to me.
Bullet points.
What are bullet points? Someone I haven't heard from yet. What do you see right here? What are bullet points? Okay. It's a list. It's a list of stuff that you make real easy to read with little dots, sometimes dashes, little stars, little circles, little squares, okay? But it's basically a list. Just makes it really easy to understand. And then our last one we're going to talk about is fact box. Don't even worry about the sidebar part. We just call it a fact box. So the only thing you have to write right here is fact box. What is this? Fact boxes are boxes in an article that give extra information. So like when we talked about this pink box in the bottom of our penguin article. That pink box is a fact box. Okay? Y'all are rock stars. Rock stars, rock stars, rock stars. So what we are going to do now that we know about the different types of text features, you are going to watch me use them. You are going to see how I use text features to help me better understand what I am reading. So keep your reading journal out in front of you because we're going to need it, okay? But you don't need your pencil, so you can put it to the side. Now, this is an I do. When it is an I do, that means that your eyes are forward. So show me what that looks like. Your hands are empty. Show me what that looks like. And your brain is ready to learn. Can you show me what that looks like? No. But you can show me that you're ready because your eyes are forward and your hands are empty. Okay? So I'm going to say it. I do. Your eyes are what? Forward. Your hands are
Empty.
and your brains are
Right.
perfect. Here we go. What we are going to start learning about in social studies the next 5-6 weeks are the 13 colonies and the Revolutionary War. That's what we are going to start working on. Now, if you don't know what anything I just said was, that's okay. That's why we learn about it, okay? So what I'm going to do to you is I'm just going to read you a quick introduction, and then we'll jump into my idea. Map of the first settlers. What kind of text feature is this? Shout it. Title. Title or a heading. Okay, title or a heading. What kind of text feature is this? Map. Shout it out. What kind of text feature is this? What is this? Remember what tells me about the picture or the illustration? You remember what word that's called? Caption. Caption. Very good. All right, let's read. Why did thousands of European men and women leave their work, homes, and families to settle in the unknown land of America in the early 17th century? Some simply hoped to get rich quickly. There was a ready market in Europe for American goods, especially tobacco. Some ordinary working people had hoped to make a better life away from the poverty and strict social barriers that oppressed them in Europe. However, most of these pioneer settlers did not succeed in their aims. They did not have the knowledge or skills to survive in an unknown environment where soils, plants, weather, and wildlife were so different from those back home. Their seeds would not grow, so many went hungry. And they had no resistance to disease, so most died. Some were killed by Native Americans upset about the takeover of their land. However, a few tough individuals survived and built villages that flourished. As settlers learned how to live in this strange new world. So here's our introduction. It is the end of the 16th century, and Elizabeth I is the Queen of England. She has defended England against Spain, the biggest power in Europe. So if I lived in England, who would my enemy be? Spain. Very good. Spain is strong and rich. They have silver mines in America. America's where we live. Okay? The new land discovered by Christopher Columbus centuries ago. Now, back then, kiddos, the United States of America didn't exist. We were a brand new piece of land that nobody knew about. And people from all over Europe, okay, so from England, from Spain, from France, they were coming to this piece. That's why we call them Native Americans, because they had already lived here. So people were coming and they were trying to find gold and silver, okay, so that way they could get rich. Who would like it if they were rich? Okay, so they all jumped on a ship, they sailed across the ocean, and they were trying to get rich, okay? The Spanish funded Columbus's voyage and claimed America, this land, as theirs. However, America is huge, and Spain, they can't control it all. The French, the Dutch, and the English, remember the English is who Queen Elizabeth is in charge of, are there too, exploring the north, and they're trying to stay out of Spain's way. Because who's England's enemy? Spain. They also want America's gold and silver. This sounds good to you. So we're going to play a game of pretend. You are going to pretend that you live in England, that Queen Elizabeth is your queen, and you want to sail to the new world to get rich. You want to join the next trip to start an English colony. If you knew what hardships and struggles lay ahead, you certainly wouldn't want to be an American colonist. Okay, here we go. So here's my model. This is the part where we've really got to listen. I have two questions that I need to answer. They are right here. How many ships sailed across the Atlantic in Raleigh's fleet? And how could you persuade people to fund the trip to America? Those are the two questions I need to answer. And I'm going to get them from somewhere in here. Already looking at this, what kind of text features do you see? Give me one.
I forgot what this.
Look in your journal. Look in your journal. What do you already see? What do you already see? What, baby? Britton? What? Illustrations. Are these real life pictures or did someone draw them? So I see illustrations. What else do I see? I see a title. What is this title? It says Virginia, a bit of history. What else do I see? What do we call all of these?
Picture.
Not the picture, the words out beside them. Captions, and some of them are also what we call fact boxes. Okay, so those are my text features that I see. But I need to answer these two questions. How many ships sailed across the Atlantic, and how do I talk people into paying for this trip? Okay, here we go.
How would you do that?
Virginia, a bit of history. Walter Raleigh is Queen Elizabeth's favorite courier. A courier is someone who does messages for her. He tells her that he has found the perfect site for a colony that she hopes to set up in America. He sends out an exploratory mission, and they return with reports of warm, fertile soil on the spot on the North Atlantic shore of America. This spot is far away from the Spanish. Why do we want to be far away from the Spanish?
Because they're evil.
There are what? There are enemies, okay?
They're evil and they're enemies.
The queen is delighted. See, there's the queen. She's delighted. She says, "Rise, Sir Walter, and tell me of this paradise." Okay? She does Raleigh a knight and declares that the new territory will be named Virginia in her honor. Raleigh gathers an expedition of 500 male settlers and sets sail in 1585.
Male.
Means boys.
I know.
But their colony isn't a success. So what goes wrong? Okay, I read my article. Did I figure out how many ships sailed? No. Did I figure out how to ask someone to pay for this trip? So where do I need to look? In my text features. In my text features. Okay? Stay with me. We're almost done. Raleigh knows he has to find a site first. In 1583, his half-brother set out with 260 men, but had no idea where to land, so they drowned at sea. Paradise found? The men Raleigh sent to find the site describe it as a paradise. Ripe grapes grow wild, and the natives are friendly. Natives. They bring 2 native people back to England to learn their language. Londoners stare at them in amazement. 7 ships. Oh man, what do you think I'm about to find out? How many ships? Raleigh raises a fleet of 7 ships to take his colonists across the Atlantic Ocean. He does not go himself, but puts 2 tough, experienced commanders in charge. Okay, so did I answer my first question?
Yep.
How many ships sailed across the Atlantic?
7.
7. I'm going to write it word for word from the text. Word for word. Raleigh raises a fleet of 7 ships to take his colonists across the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, but what text teacher gave this to me? Where did I find this at? In a fact box. But I still need to answer this second question. How could you persuade people to fund your trip to America? Well, there's one box I haven't read yet, and it's right here. To persuade people to fund a trip, what am I about to find? My answer. Suggest they will make a fortune from capturing Spanish cargo ships along the way. So how do I convince people to pay for it?
By capturing
Tell them they're going to make a fortune by how? Capturing ships. So here's my answer. Suggest they will make a fortune capturing Spanish cargo ships along the way. Where did I get that answer? From a fact box. Very good. Okay, kiddos, here's what we are going to do. I am about to read you one more passage, and you are going to have to answer some questions for me. So I need you to pay really, really close attention. Really, really close attention. Because remember, this is our objective, to be able to identify nonfiction text features and use them to better understand my reading. So here's our we do. When we do a we do, it is me and you. Very good. All right. Let's learn some more about the colonists. The Lost Colony. Raleigh's colonists settle on an island called Roanoke. They bully the native Algonquin tribe for food and to find out where gold can be found. The colonists take hostages and burn villages. When a supply ship doesn't arrive, the colonists sail home. In 1587, a second expedition, led by John White, includes women. The Algonquins are hostile, so White sails home for supplies. The colonists left behind are told to leave a message if they leave the settlement, like if they try to go somewhere else. When White returns 3 years later, he leaves them alone for 3 years, guys. he finds that the buildings are torn down and the settlement is abandoned. The word Croatan has been carved on a post, but nobody knows what happened to the colonists. So why do they call it the lost colony?
Because the colonists were lost.
The colonists are lost. We don't know where they are. Okay, so let's read some fact boxes. Says revenge. The Aliquins do not forgive. One of White's team is shot 16 times with arrows. The first baby. White's daughter has a baby at Roanoke and names her Virginia. She is the first English colonist born in America. Lost family. White must feel uneasy leaving his family at Roanoke. He may never see them again. Delay. White's return is delayed because the Queen sends all of her ships to meet an attack from the Spanish Armada in 1588. So all their ships die in an attack. Last one, handy hint. If you treat people well, they are much more likely to help you. Okay, here are your questions. What is the name of the first baby born in the colonies? And what is that section mostly about? I want you to, listen. You're going to turn and talk at your table. Name of the first baby? What was this section mostly about? My virtual kiddos at home, turn and talk to a family member. Name of the first baby. What is this section mostly about? Very good. Okay, what is the name of the first baby? Raising a hand. What is the name of the first baby? Michaela. Virginia. Show me if you agree. Where did Michaela find that answer? Where did she find that answer? Morgan.
Where it says first baby.
Where it says right here, first baby. Did she answer it from right here? I had to look in the text features, right? Here's a second question, a little bit harder. What is this section mostly about? What is this section mostly about? Was the whole thing about the first baby? This part was about the first baby. Look at everything that's on this page. What do you think this was mostly about? Try again. He says the lost colony. Who would agree with him? Yes. Guys, what is this right here? What's it say? The heading of this section tells me the lost colony. So what is everything underneath it going to be about? So here it tells me how the colony is lost. My text features give me extra information about the lost colony, about how they were killed by Native Americans, how their ships were drowned, how the first baby was named Virginia. Okay? All right, kiddos. So remember, look right here for me. This is our goal. This is our goal. I will be able to identify nonfiction text features and use them to better understand my reading. In just a little bit, you're going to take an exit ticket for me, and what you're going to do is you're going to tell me what you remember about text features. So my virtual kiddos, I need you to go find text feature exit ticket 1 to complete. All right, kiddos, y'all did a great job for me.